Our topic for this program is where we need to be tomorrow, the targets, tools, and tasks to get there. So we've been talking kind of around the edges of this all day, but we clearly have a problem. Our first panel identified that. Mr. Winters and Mr. Knapp told us about the doom and gloom that we're on the doorstep of right now. We talked about some of the challenges and attractiveness of our current communities, but what are the tools, tactics, strategies we might employ to position us for future success, having more smart young talent to be the feeder to a successful private sector so we can all flourish? What are the secrets? What are the tools? What do we need to do?
Well, I tend to look at it obviously from a higher end lens. And as we're trying to figure out how we bring more people to this community and sustain them, it starts with making sure everyone can reach their absolute full potential. Senator Wellstone in Minnesota used to say, we all do better when we all do better. And I view it as our obligation to make sure we've broken down the barriers. So that's really the first thing. How do we break down the barriers so everyone can see in themselves their hopes and dreams and help them achieve them? And let me say up front, not everybody has the hopes and dreams of wanting to be at a four-year university, nor should they. But for many people, they don't even view that as an opportunity or a dream. So it's really important that we address that. And I'll come back to that in a minute. Secondly, one of the main drivers that are bringing new people into this community are opportunities in one of the fastest growing industries. And that fastest growing industry is because of the same problems we were just discussing, which is demographics. I was born in the last year of the baby boom, so 1964. And guess what? I'm getting closer, probably, where I'm going to start needing to use medicine more often. It's been one of the big drivers of the area, but they can't do their job unless they can find the critical workers at every level to be able to do that. So we're focusing on how do we make sure we're providing the next generation of healthcare workers, from surgeons to people who are making sure the rooms are getting cleaned and the patients are being fed, and the occupational therapists, et cetera. Third, we as a region need to understand we're in this together, and none of us can do it by ourselves. And so partnership is the new platinum standard. I don't take on hardly any initiative at the university unless I can figure out who's going to do this with me. One of the things I'm known for saying is we're smarter together. So not only do you need partners to help make it possible, everyone chips in a few dollars, chips in some hours from some key employees, but more importantly, our solutions are going to be better if we're sitting around the table, rolling up our sleeves, trying to figure out what that is. The fourth tool that I find important as an educator is that it's not just butts and seats, sitting in a lecture hall, hearing someone lecture. Now that can still be part of that, but frankly, we're not your grandfather's university anymore. High impact practices and experiences become what UW-Eau Claire and most of my sister institutions are really focusing on. And so what does that mean? Internships, we spent a lot of time talking about internships. And I want to give credit to the gentleman next to me who has been the loudest cheerleader advocate for every company having interns. You can be a mom and pop organization with 2 or 3 or 4 employees, and we can figure out a way to take the mystery out of how you create the internships and understand that when you have a workforce shortage, if we can think differently, think out of the box, maybe instead of finding one full-time employee, because guess what? For many of the entry-level ones, they're not going to stay with you for 10 years. And you can replace that with 2 or 3 college students, and you get to try them out because they may be your future workforce. In the meantime, you need to restructure your work to take advantage of the talent that's there. So that's one high impact experience. Study abroad. We are a global society. And we have found every single student who has studied abroad, when I ask them, tell me about your experience, every single one that I've asked says it's changed my life because it's changed their perspective. It's broadened their thinking about things, and it makes them a more valuable employee regardless of what kind of company you're with. And finally, one of the things we're most known for is our undergraduate research. We were named #1 in the country for undergraduate research back in 2016. And this spring, in April, more than 4,000 undergraduates and 400 faculty members will be coming, mostly from the United States, but some internationally, to present their research and to learn more about those opportunities. Because I don't do anything in a vacuum, I've invited the chamber and area businesses to help support the program. They will be introduced to the opportunities in the Chippewa Valley, because these are bright, innovative people who are going to be starting companies, going to be helping to drive companies, and we can think differently of how we change that educational experience to prepare them. And I have other thoughts, but let me stop there, because there's a lot of other things we can and should be doing.